Hey guys, so these are my quick thoughts on the Baddies Midwest reunion episode 1. I'm still going to do my full reviews, but I'm going to start trying to get out these quick thoughts less than 10 minutes the night the episode drops. So I'll just start by saying I wasn't a big fan of Anna's tooth gems tonight, nor was I a fan of this outfit that she wore backstage. I felt like the onstage outfit was a bit better, but overall I just wasn't a fan of it. When they were backstage and Jayla and Tinkerbella were going back and forth, I said Jayla clocked Tinkerbella because Tinkerbella tried to say something about how Akbar was supposed to be Jayla's twin, but Akbar never had her back. And Tinkerbella was basically saying, I always had your back. Name one time Akbar had your back. And Jayla was like, okay, but what's your point? Because didn't you and Meatball came in and said y'all was besties and then y'all fell out? Tank gonna say, yeah, me and Meat grew up together though, and you and Akbar didn't. Like, girl, yeah, exactly. It makes it worse that you and Meat grew up together and y'all came on this show and fell out over some TV mess. Emma was jumped. I remember when the reunion tea came out, the audience was saying how Emma was lying because she wasn't jumped, because clearly the audience was coming from their perspective of saying, if we didn't see it on stage, it didn't happen. But clearly Emma was jumped. It just happened backstage. So the crowd and the audience needs to calm down sometimes and don't be so adamant on thinking that y'all know everything that happened at the reunion just because y'all was in the audience, because clearly y'all was wrong. That girl was jumped and they saying her eye is permanently damaged. I said Summer and Dolly are nasty, lame, weak individuals. They're not baddies to me. Dolly is likely the person who caused the damage because she was uppercutting the F out of Emma, but it definitely wasn't cool and I felt bad for Emma. I said I'll give Rolly a pass for not really breaking it up because she had her dog in her hand. And it's not like those girls would care. If Rolly dropped her dog, they would stomp her dog out. So I can't blame her for not putting her dog down. But Lex didn't try hard enough, once again, to break it up or check her friends when she claims she's so anti-bully and anti-jumping. And then she gonna tell Emma, stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. Like, that would have pissed me off so bad if I was Emma. Emma was set up, in my opinion, especially by the people who told her that she should go in that room with all of those people who clearly didn't like her and where she didn't have any allies. And I do feel like she has grounds to sue, especially if she really does have permanent damage. And I say, Yoshi, what are you doing here? Mel saying that Natalie had on a outfit was accurate because what the F was that outfit that Natalie had on? But Melanie was losing me, acting confused about why she had so many beefs when she started all of these beefs by going live, reacting to episodes, talking about the girls, crashing out, and getting into it with different girls from the show. But Mel ends up leaving. Ivory was in the parking lot. I don't feel like she was scared because she's fought Ivory a bunch of times and she wasn't running. She clearly walked off. So I don't know why Ivory and Natalie kept saying she was running. Mel was cursing Natalie out. That was funny to me, but I definitely don't see her making it back to Baddies for a full season. Ivory was still bragging about throwing her bodily fluids on Mel. I said, that's disgusting. Now that's TV. Ivory is out and I may have to be done with her again. As far as Natalie rapping, I said she was biting off of Jocelyn and it was a mess. It was a waste of time. They barely even showed her. They didn't play the full song and they were showing the girls backstage while Natalie was rapping. So I said Santana's back. I think he's a good choice for a permanent host for the reunions. He said he wants to see Dolly versus Tasiki, Summer versus Scotty, and Anna versus Lex. And he also said if it really came down to it based off of their alliances and who they're friends with, he wouldn't mind seeing Tasiki versus Big Lex, which I'm not going to lie, I agree. Like, if Tasiki did decide that she wanted to step up and stick up for Anna, I'm not going to say I would be mad at it because I would want to see Tasiki versus Lex more than I would want to see Anna versus Lex. So they introduce some of the girls. Natalie comes out and then Diamond comes out. When she hugs Natalie, she ends up sneaking her and smacking her. Scotty and Tasiki were shocked. And when Diamond and Natalie squared up, in my opinion, Diamond was tearing Natalie's head up. So Jayla came running out in Natalie's defense and Scotty was defending Natalie. But I was just confused because I'm like, Scotty, Natalie don't never care to defend you. She's always telling you that you're not cute and you're scary and that Lex looks better than you. And then Jayla, Natalie just showed you a few episodes ago that she won't help you in a one-on-one and she might not even help you if you're getting jumped. So what are you doing? Her and Diamond are having a one-on-one. So what? She got snuck. Mind you, Jayla was just in her interview praising Diamond the body, saying that Diamond is so smart and so self-aware. So Natalie and Diamond go backstage. They're going back and forth. Natalie's telling Diamond, you want to be me and you can't. I don't agree with that. Diamond said, you want to be a cast member and you move like a cast member and cast members get touched, which I do agree with. Natalie, if you acted like a boss and you showed some authority like Jocelyn does, you wouldn't be in this situation. But you go online and you argue with these girls and you act like a cast member and you're going to get what you're going to get. Natalie called herself Fire and Diamond a body and attempted to get her removed or escorted from the set, but that didn't happen because Diamond clearly had more fades to run, and she clearly also wasn't fired because she's back on Africa. Natalie was yelling and saying how she chose Tinkerbella over Diamond the body for Africa anyway, but obviously we now know that Tink is pregnant, so that wasn't happening anyway. And I could already low-key see and hear Tink turning on Diamond the body. She was backstage talking about, oh, Diamond's bugging for hitting Natalie. And Natalie was in the back going off on Biggie, Tink, and some of the other girls basically saying, don't think y'all can F with me. I don't want y'all ever thinking y'all can F with me or hit me like she just tried to do. So Natalie got back on the stage claiming that she don't argue on the internet. That's clearly a lie based off what we've seen the last few weeks alone. You've been arguing online with Anna, DTB, Scotty, Lemmy, and more. Now, as far as Jayla and Rolly, I could say in the moment that I was happy that they didn't fight and they was able to talk it out like grown women. But present day, with all the stuff that they saying about each other online right now, Jayla calling Rolly evil, Rolly claiming that Jayla was eating cat to get on Baddie South, y'all might as well have fought because y'all clearly don't like each other. And this whole Baddie sisterhood that y'all trying to portray, at least between y'all two, is definitely fake. Now, as far as Rolly and Scotty, I said Rolly clocked Scotty for saying sorry about the Slim situation. Scotty should have stayed out of that scene and minded her business, or she could have actually stuck up for Slim if she really felt like the situation was wrong. But even if you felt like it was wrong, but you didn't want to go against your friend, like I said, you should have just stayed out of the scene and minded your business. But instead, Scotty was egging it on in the scene, asking Slim why she's playing volleyball with Pretty P and Jasmine, egging it on, being a part of the bullying because you wanted camera time. But then Scotty said sorry to the public when the episode aired and the viewers were eating her up for not being the girl's girl that she portrays herself to be. No, Scotty, you needed to be real and ride with your so-called friend Rolly because you really didn't say sorry to Slim anyway. You said sorry to your supporters because you didn't want to mess up your image. Like I said, you worried about us feeling like you a girl's girl because that's the image you want to portray on this show. But you really just a follower and you a mean girl like the rest of these girls. You just try to cover it up. So Rolly ended up getting emotional and said that she was hurt by Scotty for basically going against her online and saying that she was sorry for what happened to Slim and that she should have stuck up for Slim when Rolly was like, I'm always the one who's sticking up for you. And Rolly says she only really feels like Natalie, Jayla, Tasiki, and Scotty are the girls that she can really talk to on Baddies about her real life. So being that her and Scotty had bonded, she was really hurt that Scotty went against her. And it's crazy that she included Jayla in that list because, like I said, look at where Rolly and Jayla are now. And if you don't know where Rolly and Jayla are now, go catch up on my Baddies Africa Tea recap number 5 that I dropped today. It was nice to hear that two of my favorites, Tasiki and Rolly, are developing a friendship outside of the show and they go to each other's houses for dinner and stuff. I thought that was cute. Biggie and Anna came out. Right now, they still besties, kiss, kiss, gra, gra, boom. But we already know by the end of the night, allegedly, Anna's going to get jumped and Biggie's not going to help her. So we're going to see what happens with that. Tinkerbella came out pregnant. She said that Natalie's the godmom. All Santana was concerned about is who's the baby daddy and that she can't run none of her fades now. And Santana said he don't believe in injured reserve, but obviously Tinkerbella gets a pass. And I'm just like, why was the crowd booing to that? Like, did they want her to fight while she was pregnant? I was confused. So then DTB ends up coming back out. Of course, Natalie looked annoyed, and the episode ended with Rolly and Diamond squaring up for round 1. So like I said, I'll post a full-length review on YouTube and TikTok either tomorrow or Tuesday, but I just wanted to give y'all this quick thought so that y'all can have a video from me tonight, and I'm going to start trying to do this every Sunday. So I'll see y'all later. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube and follow me on TikTok. Bye, guys.